I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here.
Each artist should be allowed to pursue the artistic endeavor. But I still think a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery buffoonery.
White Hollywood had an idea of what they thought an African-American character was, and so this character, which became very stereotypical, is the one that America was introduced to, and that seemed to have stuck over the years. I see it even today. It's still, some people still think that's the way most African Americans act, is that shuffle along type character from those specific films from the early 1900s.
I know for the most part, just like with the history of African Americans, Africans in America is a pretty troubled history, filled with some joyous and good moments, but then some that are bad as far as the perception of how African Americans are perceived to people and portrayed in different lights. And like I said, some are good and then some are the typical stereotypical things that they want to continue to portray time after time. And keep in mind, I guess overall, what is this, 2012, Hollywood itself has only roughly been around for going on near 100 years, or about 100 years. So it really hasn't been around that long.
I know that it's been a long time coming for black film. You know, initially, you know, I know that we started off being, you know, stereotyped first coming into the film arena. You know, doing things such as, you know, like black faces, cooning, doing things that was beneath us, but at the time, you know, we really had no power to do anything about it.
I know that it took a minute for African Americans to actually break into film as far as actors and actresses, but once they got there and they broke into Hollywood, they were pretty much there to stay.
As far as the history of African Americans in film, I know at first they weren't getting good roles. You know, there was a lot of buffoonery that was offered to them, and that's all they could take.
Roles that African Americans are getting today, I still think there could be some better roles. I'm not saying that they're not any good roles. There's been some great opportunities, but I still don't think it's enough.
I feel that African Americans are given very diverse roles, which is good because they get to show the different sides of them. They get to be comedians. They get to be in movies that are horror films. They get to be in action films, and so on and so forth. As far as the films that African Americans are celebrated for, I don't feel too good about that. The classic example is Denzel Washington in Malcolm X in Training Day. Malcolm X was a phenomenal movie shot by Spike Lee, and Training Day was a good movie as well, but instead of getting celebrated for a film about someone's life, you get celebrated for a film about being a crooked cop. So I didn't really get that one.
That weren't given. Let's say some of them I don't like, and then some of them too, not only are they given, but they choose to take them. I think sometimes what's going to have to boil down to, I guess when it comes to roles like, as well as he played his part in Training Day, but then, and see, that was a corrupt cop. And that to me is not maybe as bad as African American after African American male playing a real like gangster that just goes around selling drugs, shooting up. There are more to African Americans than that. It's
a variety of roles that they are given, but there are still roles that you don't see African Americans get.
I feel that that the roles that, you know, African Americans are being given in today's society are a lot better than what they used to be.
And I mean, every time you see something for the first time, it's like, oh, okay, it's funny. But once you start seeing it more and more and more, it's like, okay, it was funny the first 2 times. The third time, I'm not so sure.
I wouldn't necessarily say I enjoy them. I mean, I think they're funny. You know, I mean, of course it's comedy, so I'm gonna laugh, especially knowing that that's a man and dressed up like a woman, and I mean it's comedy. It's supposed to be funny. It was meant to be funny. And one of the most funniest things is seeing somebody play something completely opposite of them.
But I do have my movies that I like that are like that. There was one with Eddie Murphy called Norbit, and it was people really slammed the movie and said it was just an awful movie, and yeah, it was. But there was something about the 2 characters, Norbit's character and his wife, girlfriend, Rasputia, I believe is her name. Even though these are stereotypical type characters, there was something inside these characters that made them, or at least made the audience want them to change or to succeed. And that's why I think Eddie Murphy is a genius. He's a true genius. He still takes this silliness of putting on the fat suit and being what we would think is the stereotypical character, but there is that seed of hope in both of those characters. You hope that Rasputia is going to realize what she's done and who she is and own who she is, and then you hope that Norbit will realize that he's been pushed down for so long that he accepts that and that he moves on. And so both of these characters come to some realization that they can change, and to me that's what theater and film is all about.
I did enjoy Big Mama's House when it first came out, but I think the reason behind it was because I was younger, and being younger you are ignorant to certain stuff, and because of that, that's probably why I enjoyed it.
So you can say that films and characters like Shanae and Rasputia are our guilty pleasures, but what does that say about African American women? And is it career suicide?
It could be career suicide if you don't do it.
Well, when Eddie Murphy did Norbit, I know he had like a little career bump after that, and except for Shrek, he hasn't really done a very successful film, I don't think, since then. Everything has just been like, what the heck? Only reason I think Big Mama's House still works is because you have to remember the first one was so successful, so naturally people are going to kind of still feed into that. But I don't see it as a career boost. I'm not sure how it's very helpful at all, and to me personally, I think doing it would be a little damaging or embarrassing.
If you're a comedian, I don't think it's harmful, because that's what your job is, to make people laugh and to do certain things, to portray different characters.
Rarely do comedies get nominated for Oscar, the Academy Awards. I think that did change this past year. So, does it? I don't know if it does or not. I would say no offhand, but of those characters, very few of them are really, the actors that portrayed these drag characters are not working as well as they should be. They could be. They're very talented people, but yet they're still being overlooked.